Come together, big shots. It's over.
Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification button to never miss a video, and leave a nice comment down below, and I will give away a $100 Amazon gift card to a lucky winner. Strength, endurance, and speed. All important skills in the world of mixed martial arts, and maybe if you're trying to get the next fastest knockout while you're at it. Hi, and welcome to another MMA Zone video where today we'll be looking at some of the fastest knockouts in MMA history.
Uno blasts the flying kick.
BJ Penn vs. Cal Uno, 11 seconds. Penn's initial 3-fight run in the UFC was forever marked by a series of savage beatdowns that culminated with his 11-second brutality against Uno at UFC 34 on November 2, 2001 in Las Vegas. Uno was the first to strike, launching himself into the air, unleashing a kick that the Hawaiian easily sidestepped. Penn then short-circuited Uno with an uppercut and blasted away with rapid fire just before the ref ended it all.
There is a definite experience factor for Uno. There's
combination by the bar, and it's over, and it's over.
So much embarrassment for Uno, leaving a motionless Cal to lay against the cage in disbelief. Gray Maynard vs. Joe Veras, 9 seconds. When it came time for this confrontation of Veras at UFC Fight Night 11 in Las Vegas, Maynard was not known for his stand-up, regardless of his excellent past record at Michigan. And it was at this fight that the Bully gave future opponents another weapon with which to concern themselves.
I got electricity running through my veins.
Maynard intelligently faked a takedown, and as Veras dropped his hands, Maynard planted a lunging left hook on his chin. The impact was too much for Veras to bear. He hit the deck, and a 3-punch volley with 2 rights and a left mopped up what was left of him. Truthfully speaking, Veras wasn't the same afterwards, at least from my personal perspective. James Irvin vs. Houston Alexander, 8 seconds.
Just what they did. Houston Alexander set to take on the Sandman.
Alexander burst onto the UFC scene with memorable back-to-back first-round finishes against the organization, but it was a technical knockout loss to Thiago Silva that would slow his rise, and later matched him with Irvin at UFC Fight Night 13 in Broomfield, Colorado. The two light heavyweights touched gloves and reset. Then Irvin fired first, uncorking a slashing Superman punch that folded Alexander where he stood. Then Irvin guaranteed his barbaric win with 2 follow-up right hands, knocking the dazed fighter unconscious for a brief moment and resulting in an immediate stoppage despite any kind of objections. Don Frye vs. Thomas Ramirez, 8 seconds. On paper, this is a match that should not have happened, as these two were paired in the quarterfinals of UFC 8 at the Ruben Rodriguez Coliseum in San Juan, Puerto Rico. We practically witnessed a modern-day version of David and Goliath, a highly decorated wrestler with a black belt in judo at a chiseled 206 pounds, and Ramirez, a Bayaman and Pacuachan stylist who was undefeated in 200 challenge matches on the islands. They were real unmatched.
And Frye holds down Ramirez, and that is it. It's over. Ramirez got knocked into the chain.
The introduction lasted longer than the match itself, though, and once Frye got in the first punch, it was all over. Ramirez was out cold as soon as he hit the mat. Ryan Jimmo vs. Anthony Parash, 7 seconds. A former Maximum Fighting Championship title holder, Jimmo tied the record for the fastest knockout in UFC history as he leveled Parash in 7 seconds at UFC 149 in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Prevista para 3 rounds de 5 minutos. São as emoções e a adrenalina do UFC. Olha aí que pedrada, acabou! Acabou!
It was a dazzling debut for the Canadian as he recorded his 17th consecutive victory. Jimmo threw 1 right hand and barreled up the Australian grappler, and unconscious Parash wilted against the cage, beaten for the first time in more than 2 years. Hector Lombard vs. Jay Silva, 6 seconds.
For 3 rounds. Under the unified rules of combat, so elbows to the head are allowed.
Now, I wonder if this knockout still would have happened if Silva, who was fighting on short notice, didn't have to replace someone else, especially since he was coming off 2 straight losses in the UFC at this point, requiring only 6 seconds to knock out UFC veteran Jay Silva in a non-title 190-pound catchweight fight in Monroe, Louisiana.
Of 190 pounds. The bell in round number 1.
You see already when they're close to each other, Jay Silva. Oh, good left hand! The end is there! That is it!
It only took Lombard, both ends of a right hook and straight left combination, and Silva was down and out as the ref called a halt to the action. Conor McGregor versus Patrick Doherty, 5 seconds. This happened in Ireland, where McGregor would hold his personal record for fastest knockout against Doherty at Immortal FC 4. More than 2 times as fast his knockout against Aldo at UFC 194. The fight was over even before either man would break a sweat. They touched gloves, circled around, and then Doherty lunged forward as McGregor stepped back and threw a left hook that landed flush. Doherty fell, and all it took was one last punch from McGregor to secure his victory, having the referee intervene and stop the fight. All that in just 5 short seconds. Jonathan Goulet versus Duane Ludwig, 4 seconds.
Number 2 welterweight in Canada behind George St. Pierre is this man.
The official fight length is on the books as 11 seconds, but really it was over by the 4th.
Who found 170 pounds is Bang Ludwig. Really interesting. Oh, down he goes! Hand! That is it!
Circling the octagon, gloves raised, it was Goulet who struck first. And too bad for him, because Ludwig could see it plain as day, stepping back and fitting in one right arm to Goulet's face before officials would call it a technical knockout. It's really too bad though, considering how you can see Goulet nod his head in disappointment after the call was made, knowing very well where it all went wrong. Marian Rusu versus Ben Snyder, 3.7 seconds. While Ben Snyder certainly has a less than adamant fight record at 3-14, it shouldn't diminish how impressive of a knockout that Rusu handed him at UC MMA 39 in London.
Rob, I think this one will end quick with a burn! He is out!
Norifumi Yamamoto versus Kazuyuki Miyata, 3 seconds. Once considered the fastest knockout in MMA history for just about 2 days, on May 3rd of 2006, Yamamoto made history when he knocked out Miyata in 4 official seconds into their bout. Making it the shortest fight in Heroes history and fastest knockout by any major MMA promotion at the time. The knockout would then be delivered with a flying knee just seconds after the bell would sound. Ryohei versus Takahiro, 2 seconds. In this fight, it would be Takahiro who made the mistake of charging at the bell, and Masuda simply reacted by throwing a punch that left Takahiro face down, out cold on the canvas in just 2 seconds. Mike Garrett versus Sam Herron, 1.13 seconds.
Sam Herron versus Mike Garrett. Big, huge kick, ends the fight instantly.
And lastly, why not finish off our list with the world record knockout set by Mike Garrett in a UC MMA event? Garrett landed with his first blow, a devastating right-footed kick to Herron's face that left the 21-year-old simply obliterated. The fight officially clocks in at 1.13 seconds in what is the fastest ever fight in sports history. All that was left after the devastating blow was a struggling Herron receiving treatment from medics before ultimately shaking his head in shame. And that concludes what are some of the fastest knockouts in MMA history. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let us know with a like, a comment, or both, and feel free to subscribe while you're at it. One lucky person who leaves a comment may have a chance at winning a $100 Amazon gift card. Have a great day, everyone.